Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as Spielgum, also known as Facial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. And this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, welcome to your second part of your, whatchamacallit, pair of favorite videos every single DATAMINE. Welcome to my sync pair analysis video dubbed or titled October Sync Pairs, Who to Scout For. Now, we got a couple of sync pairs coming, and we actually have 6 brand new sync pairs this coming October. Considering we will probably get more sync pairs by the end of October, by the next update. So, yeah, we're gonna discuss about these 6 as well as some returning sync pairs. So strap on your seatbelts, give this a thumbs up, and thank you to everyone who subscribed. Subscribe right now, guys. Once we reach 10k subs, again, giveaway from the Pokemon Center. This cap and some other stuff I'm gonna give away once we reach 10k subs. So we're at 7 point something k, we're at 6.7k. I'm getting ahead of myself. And yeah, it would be awesome to have you in the journey. We do all these videos every single month, and then I do a lot of different challenges in Pokemon Masters every single week as well. I also do a couple of live streams. Pokemon Unite, I kind of missed that, been busy with these videos. So whoever tuned in to my editing stream yesterday, thank you. You have seen the hard work and effort that goes into these videos. Each screenshot that will be presented for a few minutes actually takes hours and hours to do. And yeah, all for you guys. So again, make sure you give this a thumbs up. And, you know, share your thoughts in the comment section. I always forgot to say that, or forget to say that. Share your thoughts in the comment section. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't. If you want to help me out, I would be happy to. Thank you to all the members of my channel up there. You guys know who you are. Shout out especially to Shadow Phil and Marcella for being Master Ball tier members, as well as my awesome Pokeball and Great Ball tier members. Shout out to every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you to all my super chatters up there as well. Thank you for your generosity. Okay guys, enough with the intro. Share this with anyone who wants to, you know, who needs a look at these sync pairs. This I would, for those who are new by the way, I study all the kits of these sync pairs on part 1. There are 2 parts to this video. Part 1 is basically looking at each one individually, and part 2 is comparing them with other sync pairs that share a similar utility slash moveset slash type slash whatsoever, and determining which one is probably better than, you know, if it's worthy to scout for these sync pairs or not. And one last thing, thank you so much for all the love in my gem count video. If you haven't seen it, you're curious how many gems we can get for the month of October, link is in the description down there. And now, without further ado, I'm gonna begin. Now, if you're watching this on premiere date, Misty or Signasuit Misty is gonna come out later. Followed by Signasuit Erika tomorrow, October 1. And by the way, these are Asia times or Eastern times once again. If you're in the West, probably, you know, time zone differences. It might be September 29 right now, but for us, it's September 30. And then Fall Morty or Fall 2021 Morty and Caitlyn are coming on October 14 and October 16, followed by Alister on August or October 22, and The Rock finally on October 25. Now, there are 2 returning sync pairs. Those are Fall Azarola and Fall Hilbert, sharing one combined banner, coming on October 22. I'll be discussing them a little bit later, so if you're interested in scouting for them, tune in and, you know, enjoy. Now, bird's eye view of these 6 Cygnus Misty and Cygnus Erika are Spotlight Scouts. Spotlight Scouts meaning after October 15, after their banners disappear from Sync Pair Scout, they will be permanent Sync Pairs. They will appear in every single banner, but I'm not sure if they will be in the Kanto Ticket Scout. Now, you know, there's a brand new item, the Kanto Ticket Scout, which you can actually get some tickets right now from the events. You can use them to either scout 100% for either Leaf, Blue, or Sabrina. I am hoping that Cygnus Misty and Cygnus Erika will be added to that roster, because, you know, those three Sync Pairs are very old, and most of us probably don't need the three of them. Now, if Cygnus Misty and Cygnus Erika will be added, I might think that they might be added after October 15. I might be mistaken, but they're probably might be added after October 15, or might also not be added. So keep that in mind, because they're Kanto Sync Pairs and they're Spotlight Scouts, so they might be added. Meanwhile, Fall Morty and Fall Caitlyn over here are are Seasonal Scouts. Seasonal Scouts are limited time units, so basically if their banners disappear on November 5, they will be gone for a while, for a long time, for probably a year, or slightly less than a year, if there are special banners that appear, that rerun banners like the Super Spotlight Seasonal Scout that just happened a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, if they will have a rerun, that's I'm guessing the earliest time they might come back is, I doubt it's gonna be Christmas, but probably they might have a tiny chance of coming back in the 2.5 year anniversary, if there's gonna be a Super Spotlight Pokefair Scout, or rather Super Spotlight Seasonal Scout, or anything like that. Or you might have to wait until the 3rd year anniversary, or until, you know, October next year for them to return. And then we have Alister, and we have The Rock, also Spotlight Scouts. Alister October 22, The Rock October 25, ends both on November 7. So once again, Spotlight Scouts meaning permanent units. So if their banners disappear, they will be scoutable in future banners. So if there's gonna be a Master Fair or a new Poke Fair anytime after November 7, they will be available to be scouted in those banners. So keep that in mind. And by the way, speaking of Misty and Erika, or Cygnus Misty and Erika, since their banners are gonna expire, or since their banners end on October 15, they will be available as scoutable units in Alister and the Rax banners. So if you miss them, you can actually get them in Alister and the Rax banners. You might also be able to get them in Fall Caitlyn's banner, since she runs on October 16, and you know, the two of these Sync Pairs are already gone by October 16. So Cygnus Misty and Cygnus Erika should be scoutable in Fall Caitlyn's banner if things go the way it's supposed to go. And with that said, guys, that's the schedule of the Sync Pair Scouts. Again, we have the rerun of Fall Azerola and Fall Hilbert. They're gonna run from October 20 to November 4 or November 3. Keep that in mind. October 20 to November 3. October 20 to November 3. And with that said, let's move on, guys. Took too long. Here we have Cygnus Misty and Vaporeon starting on September 30, ends on October 15. If you see this screen over here, congratulations, you got Misty, the third Misty actually in the game. We have the normal Misty with Starmie, we have the swimsuit Misty with the duck, and we have Signasuit Misty with Vaporeon right now. And this is what her sync move animation looks like. Justice to Lucario for being killed in all these battles. Speaking of Lucario, guys, Riley was just kind of announced in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl version. So there might be a chance that Lucario might have a comeback with Riley in the game as we approach November. And by the way, have you seen the brand new Legends Arceus trailer where a brand new evolution of Scyther was announced? Forgot the name of the evolution, but it's cool. It's cool. Okay, so Signasuit Misty over here starts on September 30, ends on October 15. She is a tech water type, like all the other Misties. Water type. So, like Swimsuit Misty, her only attacking move is Water Gun. Water Gun to attack the enemy. We have Mist, which applies the status reduction defense effect to the allied field of play. That means your stats will not be able to be reduced by the opponent. We have Haze, which will lower, or rather bring back all the opponent's raise stats to 0. And then we have her trainer move, Go With The Flow, which raises your own defense by 2 and raises everyone else's defenses by 2 as well. So you can use this 2 times. Haze, you can also use this 2 times. Meanwhile, Mist, you can also use this 2 times. So 2 move gauge but 2 MP for both Mist and Haze. And then Go With The Flow, you have 2 MP to use that. And then Mermaid Duo Hydro Pump. There's a multiplier over here, which means that if the opponent does not have any raise stats, you will be able to deal more damage. This is similar to Lear's sync move multiplier or built-in sync move multiplier. So basically, if the opponent has no raise stats, stats 0 or negatives, you'll be able to deal more damage. And then over here we have her passive skills, Charging Infliction 4. Charges your move gauge by 4 when you use a status move. That is Mist and Haze. So if you're doing this in a Champion Stadium Master Mode run with move gauge max -2, this basically fills up your move gauge to full after you use either Haze or Mist. We have Shifty Striker 4, 50% chance of raising your evasiveness by 1 if you use Water Gun, Mist, or Haze. You have a 50% chance of raising your evasiveness. And then Healthy Healing applies the gradual healing effect, you know that. Basically, you get to recover every time you use a move once you start the battle with full HP. Now, the Pokemon Masters websites, videos did not exactly emphasize on this, but Shifty Striker 4 is extremely good. Every time you attack, you get to increase your evasiveness by 1. 50% chance. That's a lot. And if you actually see or look at her sync grid, if you see it's in move level 3 out of 5, so if you get 3 copies of Signasuit Misty, if you actually get Water Gun Shifty Striker 4, you have a 50% chance of raising your evasiveness by 1 when you use Water Gun. That means, if you use Water Gun, if you have Water Gun Shifty Striker 4, you have a 50% chance of raising your evasiveness by 1 from the normal passive Shifty Striker 4, and another 50% chance of raising your evasiveness by 1 for the Water Gun Shifty Striker 4 sync grid tile. So that means you have a chance of raising your evasiveness +2 right off the bat by just using a 1 move gauge attack water gun. That means she will become very, 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 very evasive at the start, or rather, you know, as the battle goes on. If I'm not mistaken, we have Mew, Professor Oak and Mew with Shifty Striker 2. Shifty Striker 2 compared to Shifty Striker 4, this one is way superior. And as you can see over here, the higher her evasiveness is, if we have Bob and Weave available at 2 out of 5, the higher your evasiveness is, the stronger your attacks are. That's Water Gun, the stronger your Water Gun will become. At 3 out of 5, Blind Spot, the higher your evasiveness is, the stronger your sync move becomes. This ties up, adds up to her built-in sync move multiplier. So that means if the opponent's stats are 0 or negatives, you get to deal more damage. The higher your evasiveness is, the stronger your sync move will become. And then if you get Sync Power Flux, this is a brand new type of multiplier. So we have Power Flux 3, 2, 1 as lucky skills. They do not exactly apply to sync moves, so I do not exactly recommend them that much. And I recommend Critical Strike instead of that. But Sync Power Flux, the fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your sync move becomes. In Champion Stadium, where you have sync or move gauge max -2, I guess Sync Power Flux will have a little reduction in damage because you can only have a maximum of 4 move gauges. But I wonder how Sync Power Flux works, but the fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your sync move becomes. But as you can see over here, guys, her special attack stat is quite high, 327. I think she will work as quite a decent attacker. I mean, Water Gun deals very little damage, but as you continue to build up your sync, your sync buff. So every time you use a sync move, you get 1 sync buff. She is a tech sync pair. If you decide to make her 6-star EX, her sync move damage will be multiplied times 1.5. So that means you have a built-in sync move multiplier when the target's stats are not raised. That's 1. You have Blind Spot. The higher your evasiveness is raised, the stronger your sync move is. That's number 2. And we have Sync Power Flux. The fuller the move gauge is, the stronger the sync move becomes. That's 3 sync move multipliers for Signasuit Misty. And if you decide to make her 6-star EX, that's an additional 1.5 times multiplier. Now, there are a couple more things in here over in her sync grid. We have Team Shielding Inflection, Team Smart Inflection has a chance of raising the defense of all allied sync pairs. There's a chance of raising the special attack of all allied sync pairs after you use, you know, either Haze or Mist or anything like that. You have Leg Up, 20% chance of reducing your sync move countdown once you enter the battle. You have Propulsion 3, 40% chance of reducing your sync move countdown. You have MP Refresh on Haze and Mist. And yeah, this is a very interesting sync pair that fulfills a certain role, a very specific role in terms of the battle. She is good with opponents that like to debuff you or like to buff themselves. So if you encounter enemies like that, Signasuit Misty will be the perfect sync pair to use those enemies. Meanwhile, that aside, she is very evasive. So if you have run out of tankers, you just want to have some fun with, you know, evading the opponent's attacks, recovering as you do so, and want a certain way of playing the game a little bit differently than attacking with strikers or super powerful attacks, Signasuit Misty might be an interesting choice because it's a little bit different to play with Signasuit Misty. That aside, I think that's all for Signasuit Misty. HP at 597, defense, special defense, so-so. And by the way, these are level 135 stats because I feel that level 140 is not so accessible, so that's why I gave them 135 stats over here. But again, as I said, she is a Spotlight Scout, and most of you should probably skip as of the moment because, you know, Spotlight Scouts permanent. I'd rather, you know, you guys spend on red or classic blue because they're gonna end on October 30, if I'm not mistaken, or October 29 or October 31. They're gonna last until the end of October. And while Signasuit Misty and Signasuit Erika will not be there in your Spotlight Scouts, I believe that they will be more worth it scout than Signasuit Misty. You can probably scout for Signasuit Misty if you really want. Personally, I'm scouting for her for the candy coins. And yeah, if I am able to get Signasuit Misty in the process, that would be so awesome. I really hope I get her though. And if we're lucky, we can get her to 3 out of 5 right off the bat with just the gems that we need for the candies. But I would rather save up my gems for the seasonal units, which I am going to discuss later on. So guys, we're done with Signasuit Misty and Vaporeon. Let's move on to the next one, which is Signasuit Erika. Signasuit Erika and Leafeon starts on October 1, ends on October 15. And if you see the screen, congratulate yourself. You got Signasuit Erika. And so, this is what her sync move looks like. Justice for Lucario. Justice for Lucario. Oh my goodness. Why Lucario? Why? Solar Blade is a very interesting attack. At 3 move gauges, let me just check how much power Solar Blade is. I heard that Solar Blade actually damages quite a lot. But, guys, Solar Blade is a 2-turn move, except if it is sunny. If it is sunny, you, like Solar Beam, you only need 1 turn to use Solar Blade. Solar Blade, 200 power, guys. 200 power. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, if it's sunny, just use Solar Blade immediately. If it is not sunny, you have to charge up and then use Solar Blade on the next turn. And then we have Sunny Day, which calls in the sun, 2 move gauge, or 2 MP. Unfortunately, this is not Maxi who can extend Sun. You can just call in Sunny Day and, you know, the sun will just set. And then you have to use Sunny Day again. You have X Speed, which raises your speed stat by 2 stat ranks. Soak Up the Sun raises your attack by 2, raises your critical hit rate by 1. If it is sunny, you raise your attack instead of 2, you get 4. 4 attack stats and critical hit rate plus 2 instead of plus 1. So if it's not sunny, your attack stat plus 2, critical hit rate plus 1. If it is sunny, your attack stat plus 4, and your critical hit rate plus 2. And then, you get a regen effect when it is sunny. So basically, if you want to use this, or if you want to do this, I'd suggest you guys to probably use either X Speed or just totally skip X Speed. Then use Sunny Day, then you Soak Up the Sun once or twice. Probably I'll just use it once to conserve Sunny Day. And then focus on using Solar Blade, Solar Blade, Solar Blade, Solar Blade, Solar Blade. And then her sync move has a built-in multiplier. If it is sunny, the move is stronger, the sync move is stronger. And then over here, we have her passive skill, Solar Propulsion 2, 30% chance of reducing your sync move countdown when the weather is sunny, which is very good. Very good. Speeding Sun charges your move gauge quickly when it is sunny. And Charging Sun 5 powers up your attacks. That's powered up Solar Blade when the weather is sunny. Guys, Solar Blade is already 200 power. Charging Sun 5 powers it up by 1.5 times. Around that amount. And for a sync pair like this who can raise her critical hit rate, powerful, I'll suggest you guys to give Critical Strike 2 right off the bat as a lucky skill. And yeah, very strong sync pair. Unfortunately, her attack stat is only 218, but her sync rate makes this even more interesting. We have super duper effective 1 at 2 out of 5, which if the opponent is weak to grass type moves, you get to deal stronger damage. At 3 out of 5, if your HP is full, you get healthy power up 1, powers up your attacks even stronger. And at 3 out of 5, you get ramming speed as well. The higher your speed stat is, the stronger your attacks are. At 3 out of 5 also, you get Solar Blade Fast Track 9. And this is why I said you can probably skip X Speed. Because if you have her at 3 out of 5, you can give her Fast Track 9 on Solar Blade. Every single time you use Solar Blade, your speed stat goes up. As your speed stat go up, ramming speed goes stronger and stronger and stronger. And then, you know, you have Charging Sun. If the weather is sunny, you deal more damage. So that's a lot of multipliers in action, guys. You have, I'm just talking about ramming speed, Charging Sun 5, and those are the only things I'm talking about. A 3-move gauge attack, relying on the sun, powered up by the sun, and powered up by your speed. You're increasing speed as you continue to use that move. So Cygnus with Erika is very strong as long as it is sunny. So probably it will be a nice idea to pair her up with Maxi so that the sun will be extended, or it would be a nice idea to use her in a stage, in a Champion Stadium stage where the sun is permanent, or if the opponent likes to use Sunny Day instead of you, you know, for you, they will use Sunny Day instead of you. And, you know, free Sunny Day. Very strong sync pair. You have Solar Flare 5 as a sync move multiplier available at 2 out of 5. This goes in line with her built-in Solar Flare multiplier as well. When it is sunny, your sync move gets powered up. Solar Flare 5. When it is sunny, your sync move gets powered up. And Inertia. The higher your speed stat is, the stronger your moves become, or your sync move becomes. And then there's another one, Super Infliction 9. When you use a status move, you apply the super effective next to the user. Now, what status move does this guy have? Does Erika have? You have Sunny Day. So once you use Sunny Day, you get to give yourself a super effective plus or super effective up next. We have seen how that works with Red. I have demonstrated that in a lot of videos. So this is like a free super effective up next once you use Sunny Day. So that's an additional multiplier that can work with either Solar Beam or her sync move. Your choice, guys. As long as the enemy is weak to grass type attacks. Now we have Sunny Day MP Refresh over at 2 out of 5. And yeah, I think those are the most interesting things about Cygnus with Erika. If you have Healing Sun 1, basically you recover every time you attack or you move. And then you have Healthy Power up 1, which if your HP is full, you get to deal more damage. But I think those are optional. I think the most important things are Solar Blade Fast Track 9, Inertia probably, and Ramming Speed. And probably Solar Flare 5 for Cygnus with Erika. Very, very strong sync pair. But once again, attack stat is not that high, but I guess it doesn't really matter because your Solar Blade power, base power, is 200, which is very, very strong. And once again, she is a Spotlight Scout. Spotlight Scout, probably you can skip because probably next time you'll be able to get Cygnus with Erika eventually as you scout for other more important sync pairs like the Halloween or fall units, like the future units, like the future Poke Fairs, like the future Master Fairs. Probably you'll be able to scout for them, but who's stopping you from scouting now? So if you want to scout now, go ahead. I'm going to scout for them anyway as they come out. But yeah, my advice, you can skip on Spotlight Scouts, but as of checking, same as Cygnus with Misty, she has 3 built-in sync move multipliers. That's her built-in, or rather, she has 1 built-in sync move multiplier, Sunny Snooze Leaf Blade. When it is sunny, stronger sync move damage. You can get an additional Solar Flare 5 at 2 out of 5, and a third multiplier Inertia at 3 out of 5. As a tech sync pair, she gets an additional 1.5 multiplier when she's 6-star EX, making her quite a sync nuker in terms of sync move damage if you want some nice damage with Cygnus with Erika. And with that said, we're done. Let's move on to some interesting sync pairs, starting with Fall Morty. Fall Morty is the seasonal, one of the seasonals, or one of the fall seasonals that's coming this year, October 14 to November 4. Welcome to the wonderful world of Ghost Pokemon. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Battle Villa background over there. Quite sinister looking misty thing. Reminds me of the background of Cygnus with Leon with the Dynamax, Gigantamax, Eternatus thing. Kind of similar misty violetish thing. Yeah, let's watch his sync move. F. Lucario. Okay, we have Morty and Banette. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Banette can Mega Evolve into Mega Banette, and once he Mega Evolves, things get really interesting. So, as a normal non-Mega Evolve Banette, you have Shadow Claw, which is a 2-move gauge attack, and lands, or critical hits land more easily once you use Shadow Claw. If you use Will-O-Wisp, it leaves 1 target burned, but as you can see over here, he has a passive Go Viral 9. 2 sync pairs have it right now. You have Palantine Serena and the normal Serena with Go Viral 9 Hypnosis and a Go Viral 9 Stuns 4. So, Go Viral 9 or AoE Sleep, AoE Paralysis. Now we have AoE Burn. And once the opponent is burned, guys, you have Burn Synergy 5, making your moves go stronger in terms of damage when you hit them with attacks. You also have Wide Awake, which is his initial passive skill before he Mega Evolves. So prevents the user from falling asleep. Not really that impressive in terms of a passive skill. You also have Dire Hit Plus, which basically raises your critical hit rate by 2 stat ranks. Into the Night raises your attack and defense by 2 and raises your accuracy by 1. Not too bad, not too bad. I think this is a little bit better than the normal Morty, which only raises your attack, and I forgot, was it special attack by 1? I'd rather... He's a little bit more self-sufficient because he can raise his defense stat. So, 2 stat ranks on attack and defense and raises your accuracy probably will help with Will-O-Wisp. in terms of accuracy. I think Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak have a very, very high accuracy, so probably no need to worry about accuracy with Fall Morty anyway. And once he Mega Evolves, that's when things become interesting. Shadow Claw becomes Shadow Sneak. And Shadow Sneak is a quick move. That means you do not need to use any move gauge when you attack using Shadow Sneak. Unfortunately, Shadow Sneak has 3 MP only. That means you can only use 3 Shadow Sneak until or unless there's an MP refresh, which sucks. But he gets a new passive. Instead of Wide Awake, Wide Awake transforms into Searing Quick Combo 9. And this one, guys, this one, if the opponent is burned and if you use an attack on the opponent, any attack. So I'm not sure if Will-O-Wisp is included here, but if you use an attack on the opponent when the opponent is burned, you restore 1 MP. And if you do not know what this means, guys, this means that if the opponent is burned and he does not have Shadow Claw anymore, your only move is Shadow Sneak. And Shadow Sneak does not need any move gauge to use to attack the opponent. You throw in Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak non-stop. No move gauge needed. MP instantly refreshes, recovers, brings you back another Shadow Sneak. Unlimited Shadow Sneak on the opponent. Your move gauge is always full. Your other sync pairs are there to deal the other additional damage. So if you have Anniversary Lily or anyone that eats up a lot of move gauge, you can just use Shadow Sneak, Moongeist Beam, and then once Moongeist Beam eats up the 4 move gauges, you are waiting for the move gauge to charge up. Shadow Sneak, the move gauge is already charged up. Moongeist Beam, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Sneak, Moongeist Beam, Shadow Sneak. The battle should be over in seconds when Fall Morty is in the team. Very, very interesting, very strong sync pair. I'm very excited about Fall Morty because of the unlimited Shadow Sneak thing. Now, Fall Acerola is slightly similar to this guy, except Fall Acerola, when you land a critical hit on the opponent, you confuse the opponent. And if you hit a confused opponent, its defense goes down -1. Mimikyu also has 2 quick moves, that Shadow Sneak and Phantom Force. But the MP refreshes of those 2 moves are quite low. And once you run out, they're gone. They're gone. Sadly, they're gone. And, Mimikyu also has a gimmick that's Disguised Form. So basically, they're shielded from the first attack unless it's a sync move. We will get to fight against Fall Acerola in the event, by the way. So keep that in mind. But Morty actually fills in the holes of Fall Acerola by giving us an unlimited MP refresh. Unlimited 100% MP refresh as long as the target is burned. That means unlimited attacks, full move gauge, no move gauge problems with this guy, 0 move gauge problems. And guys, remember, he has Burn Synergy 5. So that means your Shadow Sneak is actually more powerful because the enemy is burned. And yeah, that's it. Let's move on to his Sting Grid, guys. So you have at 2 out of 5, you have Shadow Sneak Overwhelm 9. And at 3 out of 5, you get another Shadow Sneak Overwhelm 9. Overwhelm 9 basically lowers the opponent's attack stat. And if you get both Overwhelm 9s, that means every time you use Shadow Sneak, you are lowering the attack stat of the opponent by either -1 or -2. And at 3 out of 5, you have power posture. The more the opponent's attack is lowered, the stronger your Shadow Sneak is. I do not want to discuss about power reserves. It's a little bit too complex and a bit too risky in terms of normal usage because your HP has to be in the low side. So in most case scenarios, power posture, you know, as the opponent is burned, you get to... By the way, if you guys aren't aware, if you actually burn an opponent, its attack stat actually goes lower. Indirectly, its attack stat is lowered when the opponent is burned. Now, as you continue to use Shadow Sneak on the opponent, again, with Overwhelm 9, you get to lower their attack stat more and more and more and more and more. And as the attack stat of the opponent gets lower, the power posture to make your attack stronger. So yeah, guys, Midnight Fright Ghost Impact, his sync move, already has a sync move multiplier, which if the opponent is burned, you get to deal more damage. And over here, 3 out of 5, you also get Pecking Order. The lower the attack stat of the opponent, the stronger your sync moves become. And Scorching Sync 5, if the opponent is burned, you get to deal more damage. Those aside, you have a 2 out of 5, 2 Sync Nuke Tiles. 3 out of 5, you get additional 2 Sync Nuke Tiles. You can make his sync move very powerful. Again, another Sync Nuker over here. Attack stat 271. Not too bad, I guess. Speed stat, you don't need to worry about his speed. You have an unlimited move. Unlimited free move once you Mega Evolve with him. So, yeah. Sync Regen applies the gradual healing effect to the user after it uses a sync move. So, if you decide to give that to him, that will also be good. And by the way, guys, 2 out of 5, he actually gets Vigilance, which protects him from critical hits. So, would be very interesting to use, I guess, in battle. Very interesting to use. I would be very excited to use this guy in battle. Okay, we're done. This is a limited time unit. I would suggest you guys to probably scout for this guy. But we have another one, which is Fall Caitlyn. And in my opinion, this is also very, very, very well built. If you see the screen, congratulate yourselves. You got Fall Caitlyn, and this is her sync move right now. Uninspired sync move animation, I mean, DNA doesn't exactly put a lot of effort in the sync move animations of the seasonals, which is kind of disappointing. But putting that aside, we have a very, very, very good tanker. Now, as I said in past videos, support units, strike units can be classified as physical attackers and special attackers. Tech units are kind of in the middle side. Support units have several classifications as well. We have support units that can buff the team. You have support units that act as tankers. Well, mostly the two. Support units that buff the team and support units that act as tankers. And Caitlyn falls into the tanker category with her not so bad defense and special defense stats, which actually improve more once Sableye Mega evolves. We also have X defense all and X special defense all, which will increase everyone's defense and special defense. Sadly, it's not the both of them together at the same time like Springberg's Happy Colors, but at least you get to raise both defense and special defense. And then you also have Trixie, which also buffs the team's attack stat, as well as speed and accuracy stat. Unfortunately, there's no increasing of critical hit rate here. But if you Mega Evolve and use Trixie, it also applies the condition nullification effect next. If I'm not mistaken, guys, conditions are stat conditions. I'm not sure if poison, paralyzed, frozen, and asleep are considered, or are these the trap, confused, flinching conditions? Whoever knows, let me know. It's either poisoned, paralysis, poison, paralysis, frozen, sleep, or flinching, trap, and confused, or both of them. So whoever knows, let me know. But Trixie, if you have Mega Evolve, also applies that effect to all sync pairs. You have Eerie, Ice, Dark Impact. This one is just Mega Evolving, no sync move multiplier here. And then passive skills, you have Quick Tempo. At the start of the battle, you get a sync move acceleration effect. Once you use a sync move, you get to recover 20% HP for everyone. And Vigilance, you get to protect yourself from critical hits. Now again, Caitlyn has a lot to do with shields. In fact, she gets to place at least 4 shields into the game. Number 1 is Trixie with the condition nullification effect. Number 2 is Quick Tempo, move gauge acceleration. Number 3 and number 4, once she Mega Evolves, her passive skill, Quick Tempo, changes into Opening Blockade, which I was looking forward to seeing in the game for the longest time. I was actually predicting that this will eventually come out. I was thinking that it might come out with Melanie, with Aurora Veil, Lapras, or something, but apparently Fall Caitlyn already has it. Basically applies the physical damage reduction and the special damage reduction effect to the allied field of play once you Mega Evolve. Once you Mega Evolve, you get a physical damage reduction and a special damage reduction effect to the field of play. This is so good. If the opponent attacks you with not a critical hit, the damage is cut down by half. By half. It's awesome. And guys, her sync grid, as you can see over here, at 2 out of 5, she gets Sync Wall, which applies the critical hit defense effect to the allied field of play. So if you have physical damage reduction and and special damage reduction, the only way to bypass that is to use Defog, or Brick Break, or land a critical hit. If the opponent lands a critical hit, you receive full damage, critical. But now, if you have Sync Wall, you get the critical hit defense effect to your team, and basically until the shields are gone, you get to receive half damage, and there's no way for the enemy to land any critical hits on you unless the opponent has Defog, unless the opponent uses Brick Break on you. So a lot of walls here. Critical hit defense, move gauge acceleration, condition nullification, physical damage reduction, special damage reduction, a lot to do with tanking. She's a tanker all the way, and And yeah, those are the things in her sync grid. I think just by discussing her tanking capabilities alone, she's already more than good enough. She also gets, you know, fainting heal 1, recovers everyone by 20% once she faints. And then Flabbergas 4, 50% chance of confusing the opponent if you use faint attack on the opponent. Healthy healing, gradual healing effect to you. First Aid 4 recovers your HP once, you know, you're lower on HP. Trixie Pep Rally raises your speed. Yeah, if you actually use Caitlyn on a stage with, you know, the field effects are permanent, oh my goodness, she's so good. She's so good. She's so good. And you know what? I compared her with other sync pairs that can give these condition or these field effects later, so stay tuned for that. But wow, I don't know who I'm more excited about, full Morty or full Caitlyn. Don't expect her to deal damage, deal a lot. She has no attack move multipliers, she has no sync move multipliers. But that aside, she works very well as a tanker and helping the team out and everything. She works very well. By the way, she's the only support unit in all 6. The others are all tech sync pairs for some reason. Okay guys, we're done with Caitlyn. Let's move on to Alister. Alister is the first sync pair in the game, is the first Spotlight Scout with a Dynamax move. First sync pair, that's a Spotlight Scout with a max move. So over here, this is his sync move animation over here. Or rather, not a sync move. Poor Lucario. Poor Lucario. This is G-Max Terror, guys. So G-Max Terror is one of his max moves, Dynamax moves. He has 3 Dynamax moves. G-Max Terror applies Restrain effect to all allied sync pair or to all opposing sync pairs. Max Knuckle raises your attack stat, everyone by 2. Max Ooze raises everyone's special attack by 2. Again, max moves do not use any move gauge. You can use this anytime during the battle. And you can only use 1 max move per sync pair in battle. Meaning if you have Cygnus with Leon, if you have Red, if you have Alister, you can use their max moves, 3 of them, at the very start of the battle, like consecutively. And then use the other moves for free. Something like that. Alister. Okay, his Gengar does not Mega Evolve unlike Agatha's Gengar. Hello, Roy. Shadow Ball, 20% chance of lowering special defense. Drain Punch recovers your HP, but as you can see over here, his attack stat is not exactly high. Drain Punch is a physical attack, and his attack stat is not exactly high. Sludge Bomb, 30% chance of poisoning the enemy. Not badly poisoned, but just poisoned. No Escape, his trainer move, raises your special attack and critical hit rate by 2, and applies the free move effect next to Alister. So, free move next for free. And then his sync move, Silent Mystery Ghost Beam. If the target is restrained, which you can restrain the opponent by using G-Max Terror, your move's power increases. Now, restrain is not a permanent effect. It will go away after a bit. So keep that in mind, because his passive skills over here, Hold Hostage 3, powers up your attacks when the opponent is restrained. Again, once restraint is over, The only way to restrain the opponent over here in his current build is just using G-Max Terror, which you can only use once in the battle. So once that's gone, either find a way to restrain the opponent once again using other sync pairs. I don't think there's a restrain thing in his grid. Let me just check later. Toxic Power 3 powers up his attacks when the opponent is poisoned. And Hostile Environment 3 increases the chance of poisoning the opponent using Sludge Bomb. Yeah. So, let's move into his sync move multipliers. Brainy Rush raises your special attack by 2 when you use a sync move. Drain Punch increases 50% chance of increasing your physical attack once you use Drain Punch. No Escape MP Refresh 2. Shadow Ball, hold hostage, powers up your Shadow Ball if the opponent is restrained. Sludge Bomb, Toxic Power 2, adds up to Toxic Power 3, which powers up your attack, or powers up your Sludge Bomb if the opponent is poisoned. And you have a brand new sync move multiplier called Virulent Toxin 5. If the opponent is poisoned or badly poisoned, your sync move deals more damage. And then over here at 3 out of 5, okay, never mind. You have Grappling Sync, which applies the restrain effect next, or restrain effect to the opponent if you land a sync move on the opponent. So that's how you restrain the opponent again, by using a sync move on the opponent. Max Super Preparation applies the super effective plus next effect after you use a sync move. And then Sharp Entry 1 starts the battle with critical hit rate plus 1. Super duper effective 2. Powers up your moves if the opponent is weak to that type of move. And then over there, we have a couple of increased damage or buffs to his G-Max moves or max moves and his sync moves. So what do I think about Alister? Alister, another probably a good unit. Finally something that probably a good poison type unit. Not a main poison type though. If you really want to attack the enemy with poison type moves, I mean, I'd still use a poison type like Koga or Plumeria. Alister is mostly ghost type. The opponent, if you use a sync move, it's still gonna be a ghost type sync move. But if you want to use Sludge Bomb, that's a lot of multipliers. You have Hold Hostage 3, you have Toxic Power 3, you have Toxic Power 2 Sludge Bomb if you want to give this. You have Super Duper Effective 2 if the opponent is weak to poison. And Max Super Preparation, Super Effective plus Next once after you use a sync move. Again, 3 choices for the max move. But that aside, he's a Spotlight Scout. And yeah, once again, Spotlight Scouts are permanent. To be completely honest, guys, out of every single sync pair that's coming out, Alister does not exactly excite me that much. I mean, finally, we get Alister, I know. I'm happy to see another Gengar in the game. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys really love him. But compared to Misty or Cygnus with Misty and Cygnus with Erika, especially the fall units, mostly about Alister, just wow, 3 max moves, yay! Ooh, another strong poison type attacker, yay! And that's it. That's it. I don't see anything extremely game-changing with Alister is probably the term that I'm looking for. I mean, he's strong, he has lots of multipliers, but in terms of being a standout, very standout sync pair, I don't think he stands out that much compared to the other sync pairs that we have seen so far. So that's my initial verdict for him. And, you know, until we get to see the final, you know, until we get to try out Alister for ourselves, I do not want to drop a final verdict because, you know, I might be wrong. But that's my initial verdict for Alister. And let's move on, guys. The Rock and Staraptor. Finally, The Rock. We have been here since Battle Villa. And finally, we get to scout you. Let us begin. On guard. Now, I want to say, earlier I said something about Alister being, you know what, let's let this load first. Thank you. Initial impression. Best sync move animation out of the 6. Best sync move animation hands down out of the 6. Nice everything. But not that impressed as well with his kit. But let's discuss this quickly. He's a nice debuffer, guys. Feather Dance lowers the opponent's attack stat by 2. Now, he has Ripple Effect 9, which basically, if one opponent gets his stats lowered, everyone else's stats get lowered. So, Feather Dance lowers everyone's attack stat by 2. Defog clears, I was saying earlier about terrain effects with Caitlyn. Defog clears the entire field of effects, terrain effects. Clears all field effects, clears everything, lowers every single opponent's evasiveness by 1 stat rank because of Ripple Effect 9. Brave Bird gets you land strong physical attack damage. You take 25% of the damage. But because of Stand Fast 7, you reduce the recoil damage taken with Brave Bird. Have at You is only 1 MP, raises your attack stat by 3, raises everyone's speed stat by 3, and gives you a regen effect. And then his passive skill, or rather his sync move multiplier, Loyal Butler Brave Bird. The lower the opponent's attack stat, the stronger your sync move damage is. Now, and then he has a passive skill, Power Posture. The lower the opponent's attack, the stronger your attack or your Brave Bird is as well. And yeah, that's mostly his kit, guys. Why am I not excited about this guy? Well, he does not bring anything new as well. He is a nice attacker debuffer. Attacker debuffer unit. If I were to compare him with someone, the closest I can compare him with are 2 sync pairs. That is, or rather 3 sync pairs. Palentine's Dawn, Mallow, and Champion Iris. Palentine's Dawn lowers Ripple Effect 4, lowers everyone's attack stat by 2 with Charm. Champion Iris, Double Down, Breaking Swipe, deals damage to everyone, cannot miss, lowers everyone's attack stat and special attack stat depending on what you use, Snarl or Breaking Swipe by 2 levels. And then, what is the other sync pair that I said? Also lowers a stat, something like that. So in my honest opinion, guys, The Rock is a discounted Champion Iris. In my honest opinion, discounted Champion Iris. Because Champion Iris can attack the opponent while debuffing the opponent. Meanwhile, The Rock only, cannot do both at the same time. But, you know, let us continue observing him with his sync grid. You have Defog MP Refresh 2, by the way. Only one other sync pair has Defog, I think, and that's Lycia. So I guess he gets value with defog, clears the opponent's, clears the field of effects and everything. And by the way, I think he has a brand new sync move multiplier called Easy Target. The lower the opponent's evasiveness is, the stronger your sync move damage is. Pecking order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your sync move is. And then at 3 out of 5, you get a couple of multipliers with his Brave Bird wide open. The lower the opponent's evasiveness is, the stronger your attacks are. Power Flux 3. The fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your attacks are. And then, yeah, Way Down 4 has the 50% chance of lowering the evasiveness of all opposing sync pairs by 1 stat rank when you use Brave Bird on the opponent. Or when you use probably some other moves on the opponent, you get a 50% chance of lowering everyone's evasiveness. I guess this is very good to use against opponents with Look Alive 9. I know a lot of Champion Stadium opponents like to increase their evasiveness a lot. I guess this is something that's very good. Feather Dance can also lower the opponent's speed if you have Feather Dance Slow-Mo 9. So I guess there's value to using the Rock. I guess why I'm not excited about the Rock is we have so many flying types that have arrived, and I'm tired of receiving flying types as much as I'm tired of receiving water types and fairy types and fire types in the game. I'm not as excited about flying types now unless they bring out something new, like for example Misty earlier. I'm tired of water types, but then Misty brings out a brand new way of fighting against the opponent. 1 move gauge, but you get to increase your evasiveness each time. Meanwhile, the Rock, good damage. A little bit of debuffing, good damage. But that's it, in my opinion, guys. So feel free to disagree with me, but that's what I feel about the Rock. And we've fought against the Rock so many times that I'm not excited about scouting for him. He's been in the game for a very long time, and I feel that we already have him in the game for the longest time. So again, he's a Spotlight Scout, meaning he is gonna be available to scout for in any banner after November 7. And so probably skip. Again, he's a tech unit, not a support, not a striker. And yeah, that's it. We're done with part 1, guys. Misty, Signasuit Misty, Signasuit Erika, Fall Morty, Fall Azero, Fall Caitlyn. We have whatchamacallit, Alister, and we have the Rock. Again, only 2 of these sync pairs are limited time sync pairs. The others are seasonals, or rather the others are spotlights. And only Fall Morty and Fall Caitlyn are seasonals. I'd rather you use your gems on Fall Morty or Fall Caitlyn, or Fall Hilbert and Fall Azarola, which is gonna come together on October 20. Now, before we go to part 2, which is gonna be much shorter than part 1, make sure you have given this a thumbs up right now. I have been speaking non-stop for the last few minutes. And it's 6:42. I have to teach a class at 7, so I'm gonna make the next part as quick as possible. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now, because we do this every single DATAMINE, and every single week we do a lot of things, interesting things, especially in Champion Stadium. And by the time we get to 10k, again, giveaway from the Pokemon Center, and there's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff happening at 10k. So help me go reach that milestone. Let's make it happen, guys. Please help me out. And if you're interested, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/SPLGum. I stream there from time to time. Okay, guys. By the way, shout out to my members, shout out to my super chatters if you want to help me out. The super chat button is over there. Okay, part 2. A deeper analysis of these sync pairs. Let's start with Signasuit Misty. So, since she's a Spotlight Scout, I did not want to put too much thinking into this. I just compared Signasuit Misty versus Swimsuit Misty versus Starmie Misty. Probably a better comparison would be comparing her with Mew, or probably comparing with, you know what, she's a Spotlight Scout. She's a Spotlight Scout. I do not wanna... If I were to put every single brain cell, I would probably not have finished this video in time. So, Misty at 5 out of 5, or at 5 stars, the original Misty actually has the highest HP out of everyone. The Swimsuit Misty has the lowest HP out of everyone. Signasuit Misty has the lowest defense, lowest special defense, and lowest speed out of everyone. And stats aren't everything, I want to say that, but there's an exception later, which we're gonna tackle. But we are going to look at their multipliers right now, which, if you see this, you see that Signasuit Misty has the most number of multipliers. Yeah, bob and weave, the higher your evasiveness stat is, the stronger your damage is. Blind Spot is a sync move version of bob and weave at 3 out of 5. And then built in, if the opponent's stats are not raised, you get to deal a little bit more damage. And then there's Sync Power Flux at 3 out of 5, which, or rather, the fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your sync move damage will become. Meanwhile, Swimsuit Misty has everything to do with the rain. If it's raining, you get to deal more damage with Water Gun, as well as your sync move with Shower Power 5. But Swimsuit Misty is actually quite tanky. You can use Duck and Cover and raise your defense and special defense, as well as give everyone a regen effect, which is very nice, especially if you get an MP refresh with that one. Swimsuit Misty focuses on defense. Misty, on the other hand, focuses on special defense, as well as recovery and evasiveness. Misty and Starmie, or Starmie and Misty, has, what's her sync move called? What's her trainer move called? I forgot. But it gets to recover HP if you have that grid on her, as well as increase evasiveness for that sync pair. She gets healthy. Healing Hand, which can recover everyone's status condition. And you can actually use Starmie and Misty as an attacker. With Smart Cookie, the higher your special defense is, the stronger your attacks become. Super duper effective 5. If the opponent is weak to water, you get to deal more damage. And Blind Spot, the higher your evasiveness is, similar to Signasuit Misty, the stronger your sync moves become. We have 3 Misties over here in the game, but we have even more Erikas. So let's move on to Erika right now. Signasuit Erika over here has the lowest attack, defense, and special defense, considering these stats that we are considering, because Erika and Tangela do not consider attack stat, and Erika and Valplume do not consider physical attack stat as well. Meanwhile, Signasuit Erika does not consider special attack because she does not have any special attack moves. Holiday Erika, interestingly, has really high stats, guys. The sad thing about Holiday Erika is that her moves are quite weak. You have Vine Whip and I think Draining Kiss. Unless you have a very high sync buff, they deal practically very, very tiny damage, but the stats make up for a lot of her weaknesses because her stats are quite high. Meanwhile, Erika and Valplume, the original one, has the highest HP, and the lowest HP is actually Erika and Tangela. But Erika and Tangela gets to poison stall the opponent as well as trap the opponent using Infestation. Cygnus with Erika has the highest speed out of everyone. And with that said, these are the multipliers. So Cygnus with Erika has a lot of multipliers over here. Let me just remind everyone that you cannot get every single one of these multipliers. The blue ones are built into the kit. So it's either a passive skill or a sync move built-in thing. But you have to choose which one you want. And with the limited energy that we can only get in our sync grid, you can only choose a couple of these things. But Cygnus with Erika has quite a lot to do with sun. There's Charging Sun. There is Sunny Day built in. There's Solar Flare 5. And yeah, she also has a lot to do with speed. Ramming speed at 3 out of 5. Inertia at 3 out of 5. And then you can give super effective plus next. I think this is activated if you use Sunny Day with her. You can give yourself a super effective plus next. But again, her attack is called Solar Blade. It's a two-turn move, but if it is Sunny, it's just a one-turn move. 200 power, very strong damage if you get the thing that increases your speed in the sync grid. You get to increase your speed stat every time you use Solar Blade. And every time you increase your speed, ramming speed powers up your Solar Blade. Inertia, the higher speed stat is, the stronger your sync move damage, making Cygnus with Erika a real powerhouse. Holiday Erika only gets HP advantage 5, no sync move multipliers, but then she is a support unit. Erika and Tangela, a sync nuker, I guess. If the opponent is trapped, you get to deal more damage with the sync move. She also gets critical strike 2 and double down 2. And then Vileplume, or Erika and Vileplume, has Confusion Synergy 5, Solar Flare 5 if it's Sunny, and if the opponent is paralyzed, you get to deal more damage. But Vileplume, Erika and Vileplume, is a story sync pair. That means you have to use candies to get her up. But I guess you have received enough candies. I think she is 3 stars. And you should have received enough 3-star tech move candies in order to make him 3 out of 5. So again, Cygnus with Erika is a Spotlight Scout. So while she is very powerful, you can postpone scouting for her until, you get to accidentally scout for her as you try to scout for other units in the future. So, for Erika's, this is the first sync pair with 4 different Pokemon, by the way. So, good job DNA, giving so much love to Erika. While you haven't given us Ryuki yet, and many other sync pairs in the games you haven't given yet, while you're giving love to certain sync pairs for I don't know what reason. Enough. Next. Okay, this is where things get interesting. Fall Morty. I put Alister in here just because also a ghost type. I put Anniversary Lily. I put Fall, Azarola, Giovanni just because Giovanni is getting Mega Mewtwo Y, and Morty with Drifblim. Now, if you actually put your attention on the special attack stat right now, guys, check out Mega Mewtwo Y's special attack stat. That's not even 20 out of 20, guys. 20 out of 20, that exceeds 600. 576 special attack. Oh my goodness. This is not a Giovanni showcase or anything, but wow, that stat is just way up there, and it's not even anything close to the others. Not even close. So, but stats aren't everything, even though Giovanni's stats are everything. here are the multipliers. By the way, this is my anniversary Lily chart comparison. I decided to just show you guys right now because I'm removing a couple of them from my alister / fall morty analysis. So pay or look at them right now as you look at anniversary Lily, Fantina, Giovanni, Morty, and Drifblim and Celine's attack move multipliers and sync move multipliers. Pause the video if you have to, because these will be gone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Fall 2021 Morty. Over here, we have... Wait a minute. This looks wrong. This looks wrong, guys. BRB. Okay, guys. So fix the slides. Now, as you can see over here, Fall Morty has a lot to do with burning the opponent as well as to lower the opponent's stats. His multipliers are built in for opponent if it's burned. Scorching Sync 5 if the opponent is burned, deals more damage. Burn Synergy 5, burn deals more damage. Power Posture, the lower the opponent's attack stat, stronger the normal attacks. And Pecking Order, the lower the opponent's attack stat, the stronger the sync move damage. Again, Fall Morty has free attacks once he mega evolves or once he uses a sync move. As long as the opponent is burned, you're able to land Shadow Sneak non-stop, 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 non-stop for free. And although probably you might, if you only have like one copy of Fall Morty, you do not get Pecking Order, you do not get Power Posture, but you know, you can enjoy using him as someone to probably support your other strikers or any other sync pair that likes to eat up the move gauge, because you can rest assured that Fall Morty will never ever need a move gauge anymore as long as the opponent is burned. Yeah. So if for example you're doing like a full force battle where there are multiple rows or multiple waves of opponents, or battle villa, several opponents, you know, you can just use another Ember, or rather another Will-O-Wisp, burn everyone with Go Viral 9 and just continue with Shadow Sneaking the opponent. And that is Fall Morty's gimmick, which I really love because it's gonna be quite interesting and fun to use. Now, Alister over here, as you can see, has a lot of attack move multipliers. We have Hold Hostage 3, again, if the opponent is trapped, no, if the opponent is restrained, you deal more damage. You have built-in, also target restrained. And again, if I think it is sync, restrain, sync something, I forgot. If you use a sync move on the opponent, your opponent gets restrained. Now it's I think it's 3 out of 5, so if you do not have that on him, you will only be able to restrain the opponent once using G-Max Terror. And you know, if you have Celine can also restrain the opponent. We also have another one in the form of, what's her name, Nessa, can also restrain the opponent. So if you pair him up with Celine, or Nessa, would be probably interesting. Celine is a 6-star EX striker with a sync move multiplier that has things to do with opponent being restrained. So I would personally use Alister as G-Max Terror before Celine uses a sync move, so that everyone will be restrained before I use a sync move, and then my sync move damage for Celine gets powered up because the opponent is restrained. Something like that. That's how I will use Alister. But Alister, once again, is a Spotlight Scout, so you do not need to rush scouting him. He's quite powerful. He has a Sludge Bomb, 3 different attack move types. So, not just a ghost type, but also a fighting type, although the fighting type attack is slightly weaker because of his low attack stat. And then he can also land poison damage on the opponent. Meanwhile, you all know Anniversary Lily. Today is the last day. Actually, not today, but if you're watching this, you still have a few minutes to few hours to go if you're watching this as a premiere before Anniversary Lily goes away for good for I don't know how long, because there's never been an anniversary unit, or rather a Master Fair rerun yet. So if you wanna do one final summon or something for Anniversary Lily, well, now's your chance. Alola Flag Bearer is a master passive skill that powers up every single sync pair's attack stat and defense stats. Or special attack, defense, and special defense stats, as long as they're normal attacks of the opponent or for you. They do not work on sync moves. So, healthy power up, 1 Moon Blast, Critical Strike, 1 Moon Geist Beam. We all know that Anniversary Lily is a very strong, very strong ghost type attacker now. Very powerful, not fast, not really fast. She has Rejuvenate 6 after sync move, full move gauge, but definitely a slow attacker here. I think Fall Morty will pair up very well with Anniversary Lily due to how Anniversary Lily just eats up the move gauge and how kind of slow she is. But that aside, she's very strong. She's also quite tanky if you use her well. And if you recover her properly, she will be tanky. And she has potions, so you can recover as well. And you can increase your special attack stat and critical hit rate to plus maximum immediately with one use of her trainer move, Shining Moonlight. And then Fall Azerola. Fall Azerola is an interesting case. Again, as I was saying earlier, Fall Morty is like a complete version of Fall Azerola in my honest opinion. Fall Azerola has a lot of quick moves, but they expire, they run out once you run out of MP. But Fall Azerola also has something to do with confusion. So, if you land a critical hit on the opponent gets confused. I think it's Critic Confuse 9 or something like that. And if you attack a confused opponent, you get to lower their defense by 1. She also has 2 forms, 1 disguised form and 1 busted form. You start off with the disguised form, which will allow you to... It's like a defense, or rather, defense reduction... What was that thing called? Defense reduction next effect or something like that. I think you receive full damage when you are hit by a sync move. But if your attack with a normal attack, you receive 0 damage. And her trainer move, Boo, will raise different stats depending if you are in your disguised form or if you are on your busted form. That's the tricky part about her, but that said, she has a thing called Stop Hitting Yourself 5, which, if the opponent is confused, has a higher chance of making the opponent hit himself. There are 2 other sync pairs with Stop Hitting Yourself 5. That's Mallow as well as Sydney. Pairing them up, the 3 of them, is quite fun. And it's Stop Hitting Yourself 15 has a very high chance of making the opponent hit themselves due to confusion. And I think Sydney also has something like Critical Confuse 9 as well, I think. So once you're able to land the critical hit on the opponent, they will also get confused. I think I honestly think that Sydney is better than Acerola in that sense, but then Sydney is a dark type sync pair, while Acerola is a ghost type. And we don't have too many ghost types, I guess. So, you know, definitely if Fall Acerola is coming back on October 20, and if you plan to scout for her, or for her banner, she shares the same banner as Fall Hilbert. Fall Hilbert is definitely the superior one out of the two. And yeah, I think Fall Hilbert is totally worth it to scout for. But Fall Acerola is not too bad. Not too bad. Gimmicky. Much more gimmicky than Fall Morty. A little bit challenging to use, but if you're able to use her properly, Fuzzy Strike, if the opponent is confused, just make sure the opponent is confused. You are able to land quite a lot of damage. But her multipliers compared to the newer sync pairs, especially Fall Morty, Signasuit, Erika, Signasuit Misty, with 3 multipliers right off the bat. Fall Acerola only has like 2 multipliers. The damage probably will not even be close if all multipliers take effect. And then there's the normal Morty with these blind spot. Again, blind spot, I think the higher your evasiveness is, stronger the damage. Morty is still one of my ghost type strikers of choice, especially if Morty faints. He will trigger last word, final damage before he faints, has a chance of making every single opponent faint as well. Last word is pretty powerful. So I really like Morty as well. But Fall Morty is starting to you know, become much more interesting than the normal Morty over here, and I'm looking forward to using him. Morty, Alister are Spotlight Scouts, so they will probably eventually come to you. Is it worthy to scout for Fall Morty if you have Anniversary Lily? Might be the question. This is interesting. Fall Morty is a tech unit. You cannot hit every single opponent. You can only hit one opponent using the sync move, but with a 1.5 times multiplier. In a way, Fall Morty is everything Anniversary Lily isn't. Fall Morty is very fast. Fall Morty can burn the opponent, burn every single opponent. Fall Morty can raise his own defenses. I forgot if Fall Morty can actually raise his critical hit rate though. I don't think so. Let me just quickly go back to my slides. It's a little bit far, but let me just quickly check. Fall Morty. Oh, he has Dire Hit Plus. Okay, he can raise his own critical hit rate. That's actually very good. So, in a way, Fall Morty is something that Anniversary Lily can pair up very well with. Is it worthy to scout for Fall Morty? Is something quite harder to answer. Because anniversary units, or rather seasonal units, are really rare. You can actually flaunt seasonal units to your friends. Just because seasonal units share the same rates or offering rates as Spotlight Scouts. 7% chance of getting a 5-star. And if you are doing, if you have paid gems, you can go for the tiered scout. You need 20,200 paid gems in order to get one sure copy of the seasonal unit of your choice. Now, Anniversary Lily was a seasonal unit that doesn't have a tiered scout though. But Fall Morty, if you want one surefire copy, that's 20,200 paid gems, or you can try and get lucky in your normal sync pair scouts. If you want to go for the normal scouts, it's 36,400 or 600 gems. I think in the normal Morty scouts, you get to... He shares a couple of other sync pairs that have an increased rate, which is gonna be interesting. But for Morty alone, I think is the best, if not one of the best, or one of the top 3 sync pairs in this update. I think he is the best, if not second best, of this update. And the other one who shares that role of being in the top 2 or top 3 is actually Fall Caitlyn. Fall Caitlyn, as you can see, she is a support unit, dark type support, but I have actually compared her with most of the other dark types. So Fall Hilbert over here has the highest HP. Karen and Houndoom has the highest special attack upon Mega Evolution, as well as the highest speed. Umbreon has the second highest HP. Sydney over here has the highest attack stat upon Mega Evolution. Mask Royale has the lowest speed. Fall Caitlyn has the lowest attack stat, but the highest defense and special defense. 292 is for Mega Evolution, by the way. And this is not something to laugh about, because normally there are very, very, very few sync pairs that have 300 defense and special defense. So again, stats are not everything, so I have over here a little comparison. So as you can see, Fall Caitlyn does not exactly have any attack move multiplier and sync move multiplier, which sadly doesn't. But let's be fair, she is not considered an attacking unit. She is considered a support unit, a tanker, a buffer, whatsoever. But I want to take this opportunity to talk about Fall Hilbert, since you guys Fall Hilbert is coming on October 20. So Fall Hilbert until now is the only 6-star EX dark type striker in the game. The only 6-star EX dark type striker in the game. And for some reason, they do not want to make Karen, you know, until now, give her a 6-star EX. Not just this Karen, but also the other Karen and Umbreon over here, with a little bit more multipliers than Karen and Houndoom. I'm not sure. I think I heard you guys say Umbreon is actually stronger than Houndoom. I'm not sure. But I put the both of them there, as you can see over there. Sydney, sadly, is not a 6-star EX striker. He is a tech sync pair, which means he can only hit one opponent once he uses a sync move, which is such a huge waste because all his moves are so good. Same thing for the Mask Royale. If only either of the two is a striker unit, hands down, I'm gonna 6-star EX them. They will be better than Fall Hilbert, no questions asked. But since they are tech sync pairs, they can only hit one opponent. Fall Hilbert is the only sync pair that can, or only dark type sync pair that can hit every single opponent using a sync move. But then Sydney and the Mask Royale have what's that move called? Has Brutal Swing, which can hit everyone, and then depending on who you're using, if you're using Mask Royale, can lower the opponent's attack stat and defense stat, or both. Sydney, strong critical hit damage, confuse the opponent, And yeah. So, I would still recommend summoning for Fall Hilbert just because of his ability to hit everyone. And he's pretty fast. He has a passive skill that will fill up the move gauge once any sync pair faints. Not just your sync pairs, or not just the opponent's sync pairs, but also your sync pairs. So he can actually make you win, like clutch. You know, if you think that you're losing, the opponent has very little HP left, you are in need of a move gauge bars. It's so slow you cannot attack. Your last sync pair, second to the last sync pair faints, Fall Hilbert is left. You might be able to win that battle because once any sync pair faints, your move gauge fills up. And then, I think every time the one sync pair faints as well, your attack stat goes up +1. So, Fall Hilbert is very, very interesting to use. Strong, fast, and Haymaker, the higher your attack stat is, the stronger the damage. Insult to injury, the lower the opponent's defense stat is, the stronger the damage, and you can lower the opponent's defense stat by using Crunch. Ramming speed, the faster you are, the higher speed stat is, the stronger the damage. Super duper effective one, you know that. Gritty 5 if you're affected by a status condition, stronger the damage. I did not give Gritty 5, I don't think I gave super duper effective one, but I gave Insult to Injury, Ramming Speed, and Haymaker. And just 2 out of 5 Fall Hilbert alone is extremely, extremely powerful already. But guys, we're not talking about Fall Hilbert. We're talking about Fall Caitlyn here. And I think that this comparison is not fair. What's a better comparison is this. Now, this is the thing. Earlier I was saying, or every single sync pair comparison I've been saying that stats aren't everything. In this specific case only, stats are everything. Fall Caitlyn, Hop, Lyra, Sabrina, Springberg, Signasuit Blue, and Sycamore. I put in here a couple of sync pairs or tankers that bring out utility. Utility tankers. So, I know there are other sync pairs that have higher defense or special defense stats. For example, Steelix. I think Jasmine and Steelix has the highest defense stat. I did not put her here because every single one here has a specific role. Hop, you know, free move next, free support sync pair, so definitely bring them here. Sycamore, free support, amazing, maximum special defense immediately. Signasuit Blue, arguably the best tanker to date, and I don't know when anyone can beat Signasuit Blue, remove him from his throne. Springberg, instant, very easy to increase his defense and special defense stat. Sabrina for reflect, Lyra for what's that called? Not mirror coat, but what's it called? Oh my goodness, let me just check, guys. I forgot what Lyra's light screen, special damage reduction. Lyra for special damage reduction, Sabrina for physical damage reduction, Springberg for defenses, Signasuit Blue for so many things, Sycamore for maximum special defense and unlimited recovery potentially, Hop for critical hit rate, for defenses, for attack, for potion, for a lot. And I think this is a better comparison compared to the previous dark type comparison. Now, I did not put the dark type supports Rachel and Sawyer over here just because I think that these are a little bit more interesting than Sawyer and Rachel. So, let's talk about each one of them. Lyra. Lyra can bring in special damage reduction. But as you can see over here, her special defense is only 191. And her special defense is actually the lowest out of everything. So, she also has the lowest defense, but the highest HP. So, as a tanker, she can bring in special damage reduction, but her stats, her defensive stats are not good. Are not good at all. It's pretty low, especially since Lyra is a support unit. You know what? I'm kind of surprised. Is that really her stats? Yeah, it's Lyra and Meganium. 191 special defense, 136 defense at level 140. Surprising because defense and special defense stats are kind of comparable to strikers and tech units, pretty low. But then she can probably land a strong attack or something. Sabrina over here, she is our reflect or physical damage reduction. She brings in physical damage reduction. Defense quite low at 180. Special defense very high though. But you know, you bring out Sabrina probably against example Bruno in Champion Stadium. You want to reduce the damage. Make sure Bruno does not use Brick Break after you use Reflect. But with a damage or with a defense of 180 only and a low HP of 540, you get to recover HP, you get to increase the accuracy, special attack, recover your sync pairs. But she's frail against physical attackers. You bring in Reflect, but your physical defense is not so high, and that's what makes Sabrina probably lose against Fall Caitlyn over there, who can raise stats, who can raise your defense, your special defense, bring in physical shield or physical damage reduction, bring in special damage reduction, bring in move gauge acceleration, which can be brought by Sycamore, by the way, and Signasuit Blue and Springberg. And I'm not sure Hop does it or not. I don't think Hop does it. But Fall Caitlyn can also bring in critical hit or critical damage prevention. And we're talking about a lot of shields here. And if you actually check this grid over here, if you check the chart, Fall Caitlyn actually has the second highest defense and special defense out of every single one of these guys. Signasuit Blue has 357 defense and special defense, which is unarguably the highest out of everyone. The best tanker or something. But Fall Caitlyn is not anywhere, you know, very high. Very, very high defense and special defense, and both of them equal too. Although his HP is quite low, but you know, Hop, as you can see over there, only differs with Fall Caitlyn by 1 HP only. So Fall Caitlyn is a very, very, very tanky sync pair with defense stats and special defense stats even higher than Hop. Again, upon Mega Evolution, you bring in physical damage reduction, special damage reduction, and if you have the proper sync grid tile, also critical hit. Prevents critical hits. So while your shields are active, the opponent cannot land damage on you unless the opponent has defog or brick break or anything like that. And not to mention that you also bring in move gauge acceleration with quick tempo at the start of the battle. And Fall Caitlyn is just hands down best shield thing in the game. It's gonna be interesting putting Fall Caitlyn in different teams just to try it out, especially in Champion Stadium again, where there is a infinite what's it call it? Infinite field effects in play. Field effects that never run out. Fall Caitlyn is gonna be so amazing in that, and I would love to use Fall Caitlyn in battle. Yeah, definitely. She's not an attacker, as you can see again. No attack move multiplier, no sync move multiplier, as you can see over here. But as a defense sync pair, if you want to run full defense sync pairs, Signature Blue plus Fall Caitlyn might be an interesting combination. By the way, guys, I want to probably in one Battle Villa thing, I want to try using Signature Blue, Fall Caitlyn, and another tanker. And I think Fall Caitlyn also has Synchro Healing, which recovers everyone's HP every time you use a sync move. That too. Fall Caitlyn, oh my goodness. Best. I would not say best support unit because she does not raise special attack, if I'm not mistaken. She only raises attack stat. But with the things that she can provide, just one copy of her is amazing as heck. Amazing. What's lacking, by the way, with her is to help everyone increase critical hit rate. Fall Caitlyn cannot increase everyone's or even a single sync pair's critical hit rate. Just keep that in mind. But as a defense tanker unit, she's gonna be amazing. She's gonna be amazing. Her defense stats up, her shields, her everything, her field effects. Amazing. I would love to scout for Fall Caitlyn right now. And with that said, guys, we're done with Fall Caitlyn. I wanna go back once again to Alister over here, since we have discussed about Alister already, and you know, Alister's the next one. So just coming back quickly here in Alister. Alister, as you can see, lowest attack stat out of everyone. He has Drain Punch though, which uses his attack stat. And as you can see over here again, several multipliers with a lot to do with either the opponent getting poisoned or hold hostage. So Shadow Ball, hold hostage 2, Sludge Bomb, Toxic Power 2. So yeah, I think, again, as I said earlier, I think Alister, lots of things, lots of max moves. You only have one choice in the max move. You can only use one max move per sync pair per battle. That aside, he can use 3 different attacks, 3 different types of attacks. But that aside, not bringing to something new to the battle, not bringing anything new to the game, just a stronger poison type attack, probably a strong ghost type attack, not so strong fighting type attack, but you can raise your attack stat through that way, and a new sync move multiplier called Virulent Toxin 5. If the opponent is poisoned, you get to deal more damage. So that's Alister. Again, Spotlight Scout, you can skip. Fall Morty, Fall Caitlyn are not Spotlight Scouts. They are seasonal scouts, and they will be gone if their banners are gone. Alister's banner, once he's gone, he'll be back in every single other scout that comes out afterward. And now we come to the last one, which is the Rock. The Rock, flying type tech sync pair. I compared him with other flying type sync pairs. If I missed any That means there's no space. Anniversary Steven. Blue, the normal blue with Pidgeot. Holiday Skyla because she's also a texting pair. Lysander, Nate, and New Year Lance. So as you can see, the Rock stats are somewhere in the middle. He has the second highest HP stat. While the other stats, if it's grayed out, that special attack, it means it's not considered. Speed stat is somewhere in the high zone, while the other stats are quite average. And yeah, let's check out his sync move multipliers. These are Anniversary Stevens. This is my slides for Anniversary Steven. So look at it right now before it disappears in a couple of seconds. So New Year Lance with Shower Power 5 and stuff. I think I'm removing Lysander and New Year Lance because they're not available. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So the Rock has a lot to do with lowering the opponent's attack stat as well as lowering the opponent's evasiveness. So the lower the opponent's evasiveness, there's wide open and easy target, meaning you get to deal more damage with the attacks or sync moves the lower the opponent's attack stat is. Now take note that his attack is Brave Bird. You get to receive recoil damage. He has Stand Fast 7, I think. And I forgot, I think he also gets a Stand Fast 5 in his sync grid, which lowers the recoil damage, but you still receive recoil damage upon attacking, so keep that in mind. So if you are able to deal like 1,000 damage using Brave Bird, take note that you will receive damage somewhat. You will receive damage. And yeah, that aside, he can lower everyone's evasiveness and lower everyone's attack stat, which is a nice thing. He can also lower the opponent's speed if you get slow-mo, I think, on his Feather Dance. So that's a good thing as well. But that aside, as I said earlier, I think he is a discounted Champion Iris. Because Champion Iris can do a similar thing, except that this guy has Defog and Champion Iris does not have Defog. Champion Iris can lower the opponent's attack stat, can lower the opponent's special attack stat, can make the opponent flinch, and honestly, very, very nice sync nuke tiles or sync move multipliers for Champion Iris. The Rock, on the other hand, lower evasiveness of the opponent, lower attack stat. That's his multipliers. But then, he gets to receive recoil damage once again every time you use Brave Bird. And once again, he's a Spotlight Scout. Over here, Holiday Skyla has a lot of multipliers as well. But Holiday Skyla will not be out yet until December, I guess. She just came through a rerun through the Super Spotlight Seasonal Scout, but she will be back probably by December. We'll have to see, because it's gonna be the first seasonal, or the holiday seasonals are gonna be the first that has had 2 years of history. Holiday 2019 with Holiday Rosa and Holiday Seabold, and Holiday 2020 with Holiday Erika and Holiday Skyla. So how would they rerun? I'm curious if there's gonna be like a banner containing all 4 of the past holiday units or anything like that. But until then, that's the Rock. He is coming on, I think, the 25th. And yeah, Spotlight Scout. So until or once his banner expires, you can get to scout for him in future banners. So if I were you, if you're not a collector who is desperate to get them on the first day, if you're not gonna make videos, skip. Save your gems. We only get less than 20,000 gems this month. And if you have not yet seen my gem count video, once again, link will be in the description. Check it out and give it some love. Anyway, guys, that's all for all the sync pairs. And once again, you probably have seen the slide that I have just passed through. Once again, these are just my honest opinions, my analysis for all these sync pairs. You are free to choose whether to scout for them or not. A lot of people have been messaging me, hey, should I scout for this one? Hey, should I something? It's all up to you. Scout for whoever is your favorite. Scout for whoever you need. If you are lacking ghost types, probably go scout for either... Just scout for Morty. Don't scout for Alister. Unless Alister is your love or favorite or anything. But seasonals. If I were to rate Master Fairs, Poke Fairs, Seasonals, Spotlight, or Master Fair, Poke Fair, and Seasonal can be interchanged in that level because Seasonals have some sort of gimmick in them and some gimmicks are really interesting. Spotlight's at the bottom. So you can skip Spotlights and just go for the seasonal units. But again, just my opinion. Feel free to listen, feel free to disagree, feel free to agree with me. But in the end, what's important is this slide. Choose your faves and either go with the flow or not. Meta, if you do not know what it means, basically, how do you even describe meta? Meta, like the ideal choice, the ideal sync pair, the strongest of the game, the whatever, you guys go try understanding what that means. But choose your favorites. Follow your heart. Summon for whoever you like. But Spotlight Scouts are gonna be there until the end of forever. The only thing that I'm not sure of is if Cygnus Misty and Cygnus Erika will be included in the Kanto Ticket Scout because they are fairly new. So that's the only thing I'm not sure of. But hopefully they will be included in the Kanto Ticket Scout because I will not be using my Scout tickets until whenever. There are only 3 of them. Blue, Leaf, and Sabrina. And I don't need the 3 of them. So I'll save them until whenever. And then yeah, Fall Morty and Fall Caitlyn. I've said my thoughts on them. I think they're amazing. I don't know which one of them is more superior. They fulfill different roles. But if you need a good support, if you need a good tanker, Fall Caitlyn it is. If you want to have some fun, keep attacking. And if you're aggressive as heck, want to kill off the opponent as quickly as possible, Fall Morty it is. But there are 2 more sync pairs that are not yet here, or not here in this page. That's Fall Azarola and Fall Hilbert. Honestly, I think Fall Hilbert is far more superior than Fall Azarola. And is he worth it? Yes, he's pretty worth it. He's the only 6-star EX striker. Since it's a rerun banner, he's gonna share a 1.5% chance with Fall Azarola. Now, if you haven't seen what I experienced with double banners, I'm going to link my scouts for Summer Steven and Summer Lyra in the description or in the live chat. You guys check it out. because that might happen to you, and I did not get thrilled when that happened to me. I will not spoil you what happened, so check it out. Just keep in mind that for double banners or return banners like that, something like that might happen. And all I would say is, I got extremely lucky and extremely shafted at the same time. So go watch it, guys. Go watch it. But anyway, that's it for this video. I spoke far too long. I hope you enjoyed this lecture or something. Again, all these slides, everything took forever to do. It's 9:30 a.m. and I just finished recording this. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the whole presentation. Some of these images took hours to do but only minutes to discuss. And a simple thumbs up will go a long way. And I appreciate all of you guys for giving this a thumbs up. A subscription, just subscribe, will also go a long way. We're trying to get to 10k subs. I hope you guys help me out in that journey, because really want to get to 10k by the end of the year, and I'm trying to earn for a new phone. My phone has a little risk of explosion. I'm kind of worried. This has been my recording phone for Pokemon Masters for the longest time, and I'll be forced to buy a new phone this month, October, and I don't exactly have the funds to do that, so a little help will be very much appreciated. But thank you guys for watching this. I love you guys. I hope all the effort here was worth it. Thank you to all the members of my channel for all the support. Thank you Shadow Phil, So Nicholas, Moreless Gaming, Aryan Singh, Plays, John9019, Poplio Gaming, Roy Ackerman, Luca Media, Makose, Popwat Visual, Chrome Dome, and Sassary Embryon, and Marcella for the support. Those were your old names. You guys changed your names quite a lot of times already, but thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. If you want to join them, click on the join button down below. And yeah, welcome aboard. And by the way, if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, I stream there from time to time when it's off my normal streaming time in YouTube. So follow me there, twitch.tv/splgum. You'll see that after all this is over. So follow me there. I will see you soon. In the meantime, that's it for this slide. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. This is Sol, also known as SPLGum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. Yeah, this team's called Grunt. Good luck on your scouts. I'll be scouting for each one on day 1. See you in the next video.